Christmas. Good morning, everybody. Boas festas, Feliz Natal. We're in the run up to Christmas Day, of course, and Christmas Eve. Is it Friday this week? I am being especially blokey about it. Not that I'm against the sentiment of Christmas at all. Just old habits die hard, and then it will really become Christmas on Christmas Eve for me, which is, how it should be in Portugal, of course. So good morning to you. This is Carl Munson of expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream. How are you today? Yes, Christmas week. We won't be having a visa update today. It's just going to go a little bit freestyle in this week. We'll welcome Gilda back after a well-earned rest over Christmas into 2022 next year, and we'll kick off the first Monday of next year with a visa update. But today, I've a few things I'd like to discuss with you in a kind of easygoing sort of way this morning, discussing demographics. So a whole load of news items that were of great interest to me. And they were, let me give you a bit of an example of some of these. I wonder if I can do this without causing massive problems to the to the output, because I've got loads of tabs lined up. Not cigarettes for you northeastern UK people, but no, internet tabs. Let me see what happens when I press this. But okay, no, actually, when I hover over it, tells me 40% more foreigners in Portugal from the Portugal News. Also from the Portugal News, Portuguese moving from country to coast. Quite astonishing demographic figures on the population movement and location here in Portugal. Immigrants contributed over 1 billion to the Portuguese economy. I think we should talk about that in the second hour. The elderly population up 20% in 10 years. Also, these are all actually all but one from the Portugal News. So great reporting, Portugal News. Thanks for these. Portugal aiming for top 10 in the EU, which I think brings about an interesting discussion, observation of how the European Union countries compete against each other whilst are in a union as well. It's fascinating. I thought the idea of the EU was collaboration, but it seems that it's Portugal wants to compete against, especially Spain. No surprises there, perhaps. But Portugal aiming for the top 10 in the EU. Premier Costa speaking there about his plans. Well, he's got an election coming up, hasn't he? So he'll be doing a lot of talking at the moment, obviously, more than usual. A quarter of Portuguese homes are single occupancy. That's quite staggering, isn't it? Or is that part of just a world trend anyway? And regionalisation back on the agenda. Considered fundamental for Portugal. And I do like the cut of that jib, of that particular story, that things might go more local. I think it's really important that things are localized in terms of government. Personal opinion. You may or may not agree, and that's fine. That's what we do here. We share our views, we discuss them respectfully and legally, and pretty much apart from that, anything goes. We're a broad church. But maybe I shouldn't have used that word, because then we bring religion into it, and that's asking for trouble, isn't it? Look, Suze's picture. That's so great what happened last week, Suze. Thank you very much for sharing your pic there. Good morning. Finished watching Gloria. How was it? I was talking to some people about Gloria yesterday. I've only watched the first two, and I understand it's a bit, is it like the Portuguese Peaky Blinders? A bit gory in places, isn't it? Not, obviously not quite the Portuguese Peaky Blinders, but quite violent, as a lot of often a lot of modern dramas are. Is that really necessary? There was a scene in it that made me wince. I mean, we could see that one of the characters was not especially nice to his wife, but I wasn't sure if we needed a very graphic depiction of that. I mean, what is it about modern filmmakers with their need to do that? Do they need to keep up? Do they have to follow a new bar that's been set? I mean, surely some of that can be left to our imagination. We're quite smart people, aren't we? Many of us who can figure out, yeah, that guy's not very nice. We don't have to go through a whole scene of him being nasty to his wife and physically attacking her to reinforce that point. Anyway, I digress. We will look at the weather in this half hour, and we'll say a few hellos, obviously. And we will share with you how to make a tequila sunrise, obviously, in this run-up to Christmas. We weren't able to show the video from Cocktail Corner, a new feature here on the Good Morning Portugal show. So we'll do that for you this morning. The incredible Ben, a young Renaissance man. I know there's a lot of Renaissance people in this community. Ben's an extraordinary young man who you'll have seen offering to teach you Portuguese here on the show previously. And today he reiterates or reinvents or offers another aspect of his personality, showing you a short video made from or coming from the amazing Austin Brothers Studios in Alphagra. cocktail corner and how to make a tequila sunrise, which you're unable to show you on Thursday. We got it for you this morning. And normally that would be an end feature, wouldn't it, on a program? Do the serious stuff, and then we'll show you how to make a cocktail, or we'll show you a cat being rescued from a tree, and on the lighter side of life. But no, we're going to pretty much start with that. We'll do the weather first. We'll say a few hellos, and then we'll get into all that demographic stuff. And the context for that, I made a slide, as I always do with all the programs, a visual for the particular live stream, and this is it for today's what's going on in Portugal, discussing demographics and all of the aforementioned news articles. And I think the Vasco da Gama Bridge is the perfect symbol for this. On the one side of that bridge is swanky, modern, cutting-edge Lisbon. On the other side, you're going into the Ribatejo Valley, into the breadbasket. Arguably, there are quite a few areas of agricultural fertility and production and fecundity here in Portugal. But certainly, you go into the Ribatejo Valley on the other side of the bridge there, and you're in old Portugal. And I don't mean that in any disparaging way. I mean, you're into traditional, wonderful Portugal. The reason many of us came here for that part of the Portuguese psyche and soul. So isn't it amazing that the Vasco da Gama Bridge, named after the most notable explorer of Portugal, who put Portugal on the map around the world, there's his bridge named in his honor, and it connects old and new Portugal. And these demographics sit on the bridge. They're about the choices, I think, that are being made by Portuguese people, and increasingly the expats who settle here, who wish to make a contribution to the economy, and want to make. I think many of the people I meet now coming to Portugal want to make an even greater contribution to Portugal and Portuguese lifestyle, whilst enjoying the beautiful Portuguese soul, to contribute something towards the. What would we call it? The new character of the country, without taking anything away, but maybe adding to what's here in Portugal. More and more people are talking like that in terms of contribution and community, and that's what we're all about here on the Good Morning Portugal live stream. So we will come back to that. So let's do the weather, shall we? Actually, no, let's say a few hellos, because the other thing I want you to start doing this morning, if you will, up to you, of course, but I thought it might be rather nice. On Christmas Day, we'll have a chance for people to say Happy Christmas to each other, and maybe the folks back home. But you can start doing that this week. So please share your Christmas, holiday, and New Year greetings in the comments. If you'd like to say, and Happy Christmas to Uncle Dave and Auntie Sandra and all the kids back in wherever, why not do it? And then send them the link, and they'll see your comment on the screen, wishing them the season's best. Okay, so please do that. So let's see who's here this morning. Owen. Hello, Owen. Bom dia, Portugal. Tenho uma semana fantástica, cheio de amor, full of love, joy, and happiness. Yay, Owen! I know enough Portuguese to read that out. Looking forward to seeing you soon, Owen. And I'm reminded at this moment, we've had a bit of a birthday celebration this morning. If you'd like to extend with me to wishing Mrs. M a happy birthday today as well, the 20th of December, right before the official winter, the winter solstice on the 21st tomorrow, of course. It is Mrs. M's Sagittarian birthday today. And so please join with me in wishing Mrs. M, who completely lost it on Saturday night, talking about hairless cats and the particular connection she was making to hairless cats. We for some reason, started talking about a lady who was on a Delta Airlines flight and was nursing a hairless cat. Well, first of all, we heard she was nursing a cat on an airplane, which caused some concern among the cabin crew, as it might, when the cat became a little bit distressed. And we still don't know if the cat was distressed because it wasn't getting enough milk, or because it had too much milk, or maybe it didn't want human milk at all. And then the story was further complicated by the fact that this was a hairless cat, about which Mrs. M has some, not misgivings exactly, but she makes a certain sort of comparison, which is completely unsavory to share at this hour of the day. But it caused her to collapse into fits of laughter. You can watch that from Saturday night's Feel Good Portugal show. I don't know, probably about an hour and 15 minutes in. Great conversation with Capricorn 12. I don't know if you're here this morning. You might be a bit tired, Chris. Chris and Rima joined us on the screen to talk about their love of Portugal. And of course, we talked about nursing cats on a Delta Airlines flight, which turned out to be a hairless cat, and which is of great mirth and merriment to Mrs. M, whose birthday it is today. So happy birthday to my wonderful wife and co-host here on the shows we do. And we're looking forward to having a lovely afternoon this afternoon when work is done by lunchtime today. And Mike's here this morning. Bon dia alegria de Maastricht, having so much fun in a full lockdown over there. Goodness gracious, not obviously, but keeping they are in a lockdown, but they're not having much fun. But keeping us all safe is a must, of course. Happy days. At least we have GMP to cheer us up. We'll do our best, Mike. James is here as well. Bon dia, Owen. The pork dish you cooked up last week looked delicious. I could almost taste it. Yeah, you're not alone. Quite a few of us were salivating. And James, of course, earlier on saying, Bon dia, Gumpers! Feliz Segunda a todos. I'm wondering if at some point in the show I can play the Christmas tune as well. Is it loaded up on this button? It is! Happy Christmas, Gumpers. So we can go to that as well today at some point. The wonderful Warren Charm. In fact, we'll probably play it as a video with some of your wonderful images. And I want to make another one of those. We've already made 2 videos, which are up on the YouTube channel with all your lovely videos and pictures. Check them out. If you sent something in, it may well be on one of those 2 videos that are now up on the YouTube channel. If it's not, oi, Munson, what about my pictures and videos? Happy for that prompt as I make another one this week. There's plenty more to come from me. Stay tuned. And we're a little unlucky in sharing Owen's journey to the butcher, buying the meat for the recipe. So I'll have that tomorrow to play you as well, so you can hear the sound properly and see the amazing butcher shop that he has over in, was it Celta? Owen, that particular butcher shop. So we'll play that video tomorrow. Again, from the amazing Austin Brothers Studios in Alvagra. It is a dark, grey, cloudy and rainy morning here in Ericeira today, looking like most of the Silver Coast near Lisboa, and rainy over much of Portugal. That is the case, and we will check that weather out in just a moment, James. Yeah, most unusual. And it has been amazing, though. We were celebrating Mrs. M's birthday yesterday afternoon. We sat outside. It was fantastic on by the beach, and all day Saturday, or most of it, Saturday afternoon on the beach with the kids, out eating and hanging out and having fun with the ducks and with the Capricorns, right until it went dark. I'm kicking a ball along the beach, and it was still warm enough to walk along San Martinho de Porto Beach. Beautiful weekend. Thank you to all who made that possible. Wherever we are, I think we should avoid those trigger words, LD, as we are all free. Enjoy life. We should not let those words define us. Season's greetings to all in Maastricht. Well said, Owen. And yeah, I'm not even going to say, I'm going to refer to it as LD. Bon dia, bon dia a todos. We fly today, gentlemen. We fly today. DC to Lisboa direct. We and the 3 cats are so excited. No nursing on the plane, I hope, Jim. And I don't think they're hairless, are they? Your particular pussies there. Bon voyaging to you. Happy travels, safe journey, and we look forward to seeing you, Jim. What an amazing, exciting thing to be doing, to coming to Portugal for Christmas. That's wonderful. So all the best to you. Great to hear that news. Bon dia, ajudante do Papai Noel. That's a nice new way of putting it. We've not heard that one so far, have we, this festive season? And that, of course, is from the Prof. Hey up, Prof. What's going on in that YouTube picture there? Thanks so much to Gilda, Christina, and the EI team. I'll pass that on. Hey, my grant. I will pass that on. Bon dia, not bon dia. But bon dia is, of course, the Brazilian. You will hear that around and about. A young lady in the supermarket said it to me like that yesterday. Bon dia. It just sounds so cool and sexy when people say bon dia, doesn't it? This weekend in Portuguese history, number 1, 1925, Antonio Maria da Silva is appointed Prime Minister for a 4th time. He was also the first Prime Minister of the First Republic of Portugal as well. So quite an important character there. 4-time Prime Minister Antonio Costa, looking for a second. I think it'll be his second term if he gets re-elected, won't it, in January of next year. So James, very excited for Jim. So excited for you there. Hola, bon dia, todos from Matty. Can't stay the whole show as I have my last regular dentist appointment in the Netherlands at 11 o'clock. Okay, got that, Matty. So good to talk to you last week as well. And Thunderduck is here. Light up Christmas. So good to see it the weekend. Bon dia alegria. Also from Thunderduck this morning. Congratulations, Jim, he says as well. Be prepared for rain. Yeah, you will be arriving into a somewhat soggy Portugal this week. And we'll go into the weather in a little while, Jim, so you know what's going on and what to pack, what to wear, or what not to leave locked up in your case. This weekend in Portuguese history too. Thanks, Prof, for this. 1921, Portugal lost 7-1 to Spain in Madrid. How disappointing and terrible is that result? It was the first meeting between the nations. Really? Wow. 1921, and they lost 7-1. A beating there that probably changed the whole course of Portuguese history, to suffer that embarrassment and humiliation in Madrid. And they never forgot. They never forgot, and played their hearts out. I mean, I'm really excited about, nervous slightly about the World Cup playoffs that are coming. Hopefully, Portugal will be in through those. Somewhat challenging. I'm still not sure if the footy fans think that's going to be a walk in the park or not. But hopefully, fingers crossed, World Cup qualifiers will be behind, I say, us soon in the new year, and we'll be on our way to the World Cup, which will be a weird one, won't it, in Qatar, quite frankly. Rebel Mamas here, everybody. Hola, povos. Hola, povos. Rain is on its way, but surprisingly warm outside up here in the Alto Minho. Yes, that's the thing about rain, isn't it? It does bring milder temperatures often. Rain in Alvazra this morning as well. Lovely weather reports from everybody. And another today in Portuguese history. 1999, the dateline. Macau returned to China. Here you go. Here's your country back. April 1987, Portugal and China reached an agreement to return Macau to Chinese rule in 1999. So strange, isn't it? That would even be a thing, but there you go. And the 127th Portuguese governor of Macau, Vasco Joaquim Rocha Vieira, lowered the flags in Macau on this day. In the run-up to Christmas. Wow, incredible. I remember when the UK did that. And the Chris Patton was the envoy, wasn't he, for Hong Kong, giving the country back to its people. A strange concept. Deagle's here, everybody. And at this point, let me just put your lovely pic that you sent in. Well, one of many that you send in. Grateful for all of them, Deagle. But this is really nice. Talking of Christmas greetings. Greetings from Ireland, from Deagle. Bon dia, car. Away for a 128-length swim with the sun. That's 2 miles in old money. Unbelievable, Deagle. We'll do it in 2 hours. Important to stay fit as we indulge over the next fortnight. So the athletic, almost Olympian preparations are taking place in Belfast this morning, getting ready for stuffing his face and slobbing out on the sofa during the festive period with a 2-mile swim. What goes through your mind during a 2-mile swim? I'm not sure I could apply myself quite in that way. While we're sharing pictures, thank you to Anna as well for this beauty that came in. This is fantastic, Anna. And I need to read out what you've sent to me on WhatsApp. 913-590-303 is the number to send those lovely pictures to. Morning. Bob and Viv as well, hoping to see you soon. And thank you, Victoria, for what you've sent me as well. And Anna says, Bon dia, Carl. Fantastic weekend here with sun in Sweden, and amazing moonlight from my balcony. So I thought that was like the sun where they only have 5 minutes of daylight in Sweden at the moment, or thereabouts. I'm about to find out. An amazing moonlight from the balcony that you can see there in Värmdö in Stockholm. Wishing all a wonderful week. Oh, Anna Olsen, she forgot to say. I knew it was you, Anna. And at the moment, 4 to 5 hours maximum of sunshine per day. Isn't that amazing? I think it's getting a bit chilly and dark here in Portugal. 4 to 5 hours. I honestly don't know how you do it, but what a beautiful picture of the moon from the balcony there. That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Anna, over there in Stockholm. Okay. Suze is here, finished watching Glory. What did you think, Suze? Let us know. Would you recommend it? I'm going to watch some more. I think for one thing, it's just so stylish, isn't it? Took a spontaneous do-nothing morning today. Just needed to break up the routine a bit and have zero obligations for a few hours. Call it a personal health morning. And I'm here, says James. I'm glad to hear it. Well done, James. And this man knows how to manage himself, I think. One to watch there in terms of well-being is James Holly, advisor on such matters, and taking his own medicine there by the sound of it. Bon dia to you as well in the Rooney household. Fantastic to see you two here. How's it going? Loving your pictures and your Facebook post, John. Boy, having a lot of fun in Portugal. Bon dia from Paula Coimbra as well. Who's that in the picture, Paolo? Do let us know. That beautiful pooch there. And Portugal had extended its nationality laws to Macau, with those born before 1981 acquiring nationality by jus soli and by jus sanguinis after 1981. What does that mean? Just by virtue of being born in a Portuguese colony, you get citizenship. Let us know why do people use those phrases? Is it to confuse people? I mean, it often is the way with jargon, isn't it? Is to confuse and mislead people. I'm not saying that's what's happening there, but why not say what it is rather than this jus sanguini? Sounds like a Bloody Mary to me, a jus sanguini. Merry Christmas from the OLP in the house. Call to you and your family. Thank you so much. And Iguel meant right back at you there. The Oregonians loving Portugal. Thank you so much for that. And a very, very happy Christmas. Boas festas, Feliz Natal to you too. Joe Johnson, say hello, Joe. How are you? Morning, says Joe. Great to see you here. A lot of faces we haven't seen for a little while. Bon dia alegria for Anna, whose picture we showed just now. And Elaine Godley as well. Look, good morning from me and Bobby Blackcat. Good morning to you and Bobby. If they cut out all the lighting of cigarettes and smoking, Gloria would have been half the length. That's funny, because I know exactly what you mean. I've only seen 2 episodes, but there is a lot of... isn't there in that? Still, it was worthwhile. So, yeah, it's like Portuguese Mad Men, isn't it? Button from Andy. Everyone from Andy too. And new profile pic is the coat of arms from the Barata family. I'm having it embroidered on my smoking jacket. Of course you are. And is it available for sale in your Etsy shop as well there, Prof? My view is the front yard and the homes across the street. Is that because of what? The fog? There, you're not being able to see much further than that. Amazing. And to Suze, I liked Gloria, she says, does Rebel Mama. Saw it when it came out. My youngest kiddo, trans son, is on a plane to Stockholm right now, close to your part of the world. I bought him a bunch of warm clothes. So on the way to Portugal. Amazing. And I guess you can't really recommend Gloria as a primer, though, can you, for people coming to Portugal? Maybe you can in terms of landscape, I don't know. But you don't want to be thinking that there's some sort of Cold War battle going on here still. Raining hard in Lisboa today looks like a UK day. So I'm so sorry to hear that, Andy. And Jacqueline Brown, Donna Jacqueline's here, everybody. Pure Religion says Jesus is looking after widows and orphans, and that is really often offensive. Right, I'm not sure what to make of that. Donna Jacqueline, Pure Religion says Jesus is looking after widows and orphans, and that is really often offensive. Okay, well, and what can you do? People. It's a bit like beauty, isn't it? Offence is in the eye of the beholder as well. We can discuss these things here. Grown-up, intelligent people. Bon dia, Carl, and all you lovely gumpers from a very chilly north coast. Cold rain there. Over there in Northern Ireland. I hope everyone is in good health and still taking your vitamins. Yes, fresh air, vitamins, those sorts of things. And I did see a Twitter post, actually. Somebody saying something like, in these 21, 22 months of the pandemic, I still haven't seen a serious news story where people are told about fresh air, vitamins, eating well, and those sorts of things that you can do yourself for your health. There isn't much focus on that, is there? Maybe they're assuming everybody's doing that, and probably not making an ass of you and me, that assumption, I'm sure. Close, but not close enough for a visit. Hope we can all meet up in Portugal sooner rather than later, says Suze to Rebel Mama. Happy birthday, Mrs. M. Oh, she's here, everybody. Happy birthday, my darling. I'm listening in, says Mrs. M. And happy birthday, Louisa, to you from Jack. Polly as well, and thank you, everyone, says Louisa. Talking about the Decil. Good morning, Louisa. What does that mean? And Laura P. Bon dia, finally back home in Albufeira. Foggy weather down there in the south, so the weather's coming in. Maybe we won't do the official weather. We've got enough of it. Got enough weather and weather reports from you guys. Thank you so much for that. 2 of my best friends going way back have birthdays today too. Mrs. M must be special. No question about that, Suze. Sagittarians, fascinating people, and happy birthday from Matty to you as well, Mrs. M. Rocker Mick at Rockertowns. Bon dia to the channel. Thank you very much. There's Rocker Mick at Rockertown. So what have we got there, Mick? Is that a bar, an enterprise of some? Tell us more, please. I know everyone if that is in hospitality, everybody in hospitality needs an extra leg up at the moment. So knock yourself out. Tell us about your business, and we'll see if we can get a few bodies there. From Mick Jenkins this morning. Good morning to you, Mick, and season's best to you. Saturday's show is too late for me, but I did watch it yesterday. Lots of good laughs too, right? And happy birthday, Louisa, from Andy and from Donna Jacqueline as well. Happy birthday, Louise. She's calling you there. Louisa, watching you laugh uncontrollably was a tonic. So tons of joy and laughter now and every day. Parabéns, Louisa, as well. Happy birthday to Mrs. A saggy sis. I should say Saji rather than Saggy. Oh dear, I'm in trouble now. Hola, bon dia, Carl. I'm back in the big, unbelievable, Chris. Hearing about you coming to Portugal every other weekend back in the day, in the heyday of air travel. And it's a bit more difficult now, as we discussed on Saturday as well. I'm back in the big smoke. Jazz Funk track of the day, Cheryl in Encore. Happy birthday, Mrs. M. Have a great day from all the Capricorn 12s. That's beautiful. And it was so good to see you, and so great to see you on the show too. Couldn't get enough of you on Saturday. Many happy returns to Louisa today. Have a great day from a fellow Sagittarian. So many among us, Sagittarians. Happy birthday, Mrs. Louisa, and a takeout for you there. I'm not sure, the emojis don't translate terribly well, do they? But I think Laura P sending you something nice there. Happy birthday, Mrs. M, as well from Owen. Happiest of birthdays to you, Louisa. We hope your day is fabulous, from the OLP there. Hope those Christmas holidays, these Christmas holidays and New Year's too, will be wonderful to everyone. That's lovely. Thank you very much, Laura. Congrats, Jim. Feliz Natal from Andy to Jim, hearing of Jim's journey towards this country. Flight attendants, prepare the craft for takeoff. Seats forward and electronic devices off. Indeed. We enjoyed that, didn't we? Everyone playing pilots on Saturday. Portuguese, looking forward to meeting you again. It was a great trip. Brief but action-packed, wasn't it? And congrats from Suze to Jim as well. The ducks and the Capricorns, we put them together and it all seemed to go very well. I'm not rethinking the rough-tongued breastfeeding phallus-like cat until I've drunk my tea. Well, all the rest of us are now, Deborah, and it was you, wasn't it, who introduced that into the conversation on Saturday. Thank you very much for that. And I think I'll take your advice and maybe not invite that lady onto the show. And not that there's anything wrong with her, but I don't want to see the state of Mrs. M after. Can you imagine if we put Mrs. M on that particular gig, interviewing the lady from the Delta Airlines flight? That's not going to go well. Alpha is asking us to go out. I'll be back shortly. That's Alpha the Great Dane, everybody. Carl, it's great. GMP, I'm meeting and greeting Gumpers from all over the world. Really splendid. You're absolutely right there, Chris. Hope to be moving to your great country next year. Can't wait, says Mick. We're here to help. Mick, let us know what we can do. Chris Patton was governor, not envoy, of Hong Kong. Carl, do you have the sound on for WhatsApp? Check mine twice already with no messages on it. Lol. Hold on a minute. Matty sent me something there. I'm not sure what you mean there, Matty. Have you sent me something to play? Joao F, thank you very much for your incoming. And Morgan owners talking to each other. Yeah, the people who love the Morgan vehicle. And beautiful. That's from you, Elra, isn't it? That's a lovely photo of the moonlight in the morning. Sunrise at 9:51, everybody, over there in Finland. Sunset at 2:42. Yay, to the days getting longer. Show you that in just a moment. That's beautiful. Should we find out just before the... Actually, no, what I'll do is I'll play the 9 o'clock theme and then we'll go into the long... I know you're waiting to stop me, to hear me stop talking so you can get your tequila sunrise recipe sorted out from Cocktail Corner. There are people waiting to make a tequila sunrise, everyone. So just stop on the messages for a moment so they can get their drink fixed. Morning all from Dominique as well. Pippa Young's here from Botswana. Bon dia Gumpers. We've included your lovely message to us in the videos. Can't remember if it's video 1 or 2. Check it out on YouTube, Pippa. And many happy returns to Louisa as well. And Julie Fifi. Hello, Julie. Great to meet you recently. Bon dia todos. Boas festas. And Gemini's in the house as well this morning. From James to Mick, if your experience is anything like mine, you'll be happy you did. That is moved to Portugal. Keep us informed. St. Catherine is here too. Bon dia, Carl. Fire one. I'm doing nothing. Oh, fire on and doing nothing. Fire one. You sound like some sort of general there. Fire one and do nothing. No, fire on and doing nothing. I bet it's lovely in your living room with the fire crackling away in the corner there. Bon dia from Lucas as well. Good morning. Being yourself is the prettiest thing you can be. I think possibly there in that wonderful picture there. Lucas, thank you very much for that. A midlife crisis world tour. Parabéns, Senora Munson. Okay, Mrs. M, birthday greetings from the prof, an academic greeting this morning. Hola, bon dia todos from Joao, fellow mate. And Ubi's here as well. If Portugal was a Star Trek civilization, they'd be half Vulcan, half Ferengi, and at least 10% Klingon. And the rest, In fact, I think when I remember looking at the census statistic, there were quite a few Vulcans, Ferengis, and Klingons in the mix there. Okay, let's go with that whistling theme tune. Time is flying by this morning on this Boas Festas, Feliz Natal, and Parabéns flavoured Good Morning Portugal live stream this morning. Let's start whistling as well, shall we? Add in the whistling and be right back with a tequila sunrise recipe from Cocktail Corner after this. Hola, bon dia, with a bit of alegria. Hello. The comments are amazing this morning. Yeah, so please share your Christmas holiday and New Year greetings in the comments, which I think you're doing, as well as the birthday greetings for Mrs. M this morning. And where did we get to? I know what we're going to do. We're going to play the video. As I regroup here on the live stream, let's go to the remarkable young fella who is Ben, who's mixing up a tequila sunrise. This is the man cave, everybody. You may have heard of the man cave. You may be thinking, what is that all about? Why do they communicate with each other in capital letters? What is this? And this is the spiritual home of the man cave. It is we go to Al Viagra now, to Cocktail Corner, in the darkest, deepest recesses of the original man cave, where the wonderful video is made and the wonderful amazing Austin Brothers productions are made. Over to you, Ben. Take it away, mate. And I was going to say to people, drink responsibly, but for heaven's sakes, you're grown-ups. You know what you're doing. Keep it legal and enjoy yourselves.
Hi, my name is Ben and welcome to Ben's Cocktail Corner. Today I'll be showing you the essentials to start making cocktails at home. So number one, we have a cocktail shaker. I myself use the standard shaker, which is comprised of a cup, a lid and a filter, and is built in this way. Up next on our list of essentials, we have a measurement cup. Now, if we could please zoom in on the measurement cup, you will see here that mine is 30 milliliters and 50 milliliters. I recommend the 30 and the 50. You'll find that most drinks have 60 milliliters, which is just 2 times the 30, so that makes your job a lot easier. Now if we could pan out again, please. Up next on our list we have the bar spoon, or just a long spoon. Now it doesn't matter whether you have a long spoon or a bar spoon to start with, they both do the same thing. So here we have it, the 5 main spirits you'll find yourself using when you mix drinks, which are vodka, rum, you can use both light and dark, whiskey bourbon, gin, and tequila. Now another thing you'll find yourself commonly using in a lot of cocktails is triple sec. Triple sec is a orange liqueur, which you'll find yourself using in things like margaritas. Now, if you like being a bit artistic, making drinks with a lot of colour or adding colour to drinks, I recommend you get a few bar syrups. I personally think that grenadine and blue curacao are the best ones you can get. Now, we'll be using grenadine up next when we make our tequila sunrise. Right, so here we have it, the tequila sunrise. But before we start making the drink, let's take a moment to talk about its history. Now it's believed that the tequila sunrise originated around the 1930s, but was made famous in the 1970s by none other than Mick Jagger. When he ordered it, he liked the drink so much that he ordered one for the rest of his crew. So, with that out of the way, let's crack on. So the ingredients we're going to need to make a tequila sunrise. Now, guys, if we could get a close-up on these here, we're going to need ice, orange juice, preferably freshly squeezed if you can, grenadine and tequila, which we have talked about before. So if we could pan out again, I'll begin making the cocktail. So the first step to this is the ice in the cup. So just pour that in. Pour the ice in. Get that out of the way. Up next, we're going to measure out 60 millilitres of tequila. Now I'm committing a bit of a, well, let's call it a bartending sin here, because I'm working from the most expensive ingredient down to the cheapest, when in reality you should be doing it the other way round. But I just find it easier to do it like this. The way a tequila sunrise is built, it makes sense to me. So we've put 30 in. So here goes our next 30 to make 60. Up next, we're going to top that up with a bit of orange juice. When topping it up, you want to be sure to leave a little gap at the top. I'll explain why in a bit. But before I do, we have to mix everything together. And the way we mix it is we just get the spoon and try to go around the edges of the glass, like so, making as little noise as possible. This was explained to me by my bar teacher, who said when you're mixing a drink, you're not trying to wake up a customer by making a series of loud noises. No, you've got to be as quiet and as professional as you can. So after 15-20 seconds maybe of mixing at least, put your spoon aside and do the final step, which is adding the grenadine. This is why I said you should leave a little bit at the top to put your grenadine in. Now you could put your grenadine in at the start and mix it in later, but I think it's a lot more cinematic doing it this way. Now there's no exact measurement to how much grenadine you should use. Well, the only measurement you really have is your human eye until it looks right. So there we have it, a tequila sunrise. I'll see you next time in Ben's Cocktail Corner. Yeah!
There you go, from the Gaz Bar in the man cave, spiritual home of the man cave, the Gaz Bar, Ben's Cocktail Corner. Wasn't that brilliant? Oh, I'm not drinking until July. Still, another six months-ish to go until I drink again. And Gemini saying, nice drink. But we want to see more of those, Ben. Thank you very much, Garvo, for making that. And any requests, anybody, for the next cocktail that Ben might make? That was superb. I particularly like the bit about stirring up the cocktail. And your job is not to wake up your customer, but to sort of gently create the cocktail with them. And he kind of really drew me into how special it is having a cocktail made for you. You know, there's just something really great about that, isn't there? And somebody taking care rather than just, making loads of noise and mess, but thoughtfully and mindfully, dare I say it, mindfully making you a cocktail that you can sip with great pleasure. With great state-changing pleasure. You can add rum, says Pete. Morning, Pete. If you happen to have a spare ice cream maker or blender, and make a sorbet slushy out of it, of the orange juice, rum, and tequila. Ooh, Christmas without tequila sunrises. Ben was just brilliant, says Pete there. All of a sudden, I'm feeling thirsty. Yeah. And cocktail requests here, Long Island iced tea, sex on the beach, screwdriver, and a green widow. Very environmental, that last one. Mrs. Duck likes Aperol Spritz. I like to see the perfect way to make one. Yes! I don't know if Ben, if you are watching this morning, or Garvo, if Uncle Garvo could maybe make a few notes here. Yes, a request for a cocktail from New Orleans, the Black-Eyed Susan. Oh, my goodness. I had one once and loved it. Wow! Yes, Long Island, says Raphael as well. So Long Island iced tea. Iced tea, very popular here in Portugal, of course, made by Lipton's, but that's not the one you're talking about, is it? Okay, we have a few articles to read for you. And I'm going to start with the first one here. I'm just going to read through these. This is discussing demographics this morning. Gilda not with us, have a well-earned rest into the Christmas relaxation and festivities already, and will be back with us on the first Monday of the new year. I'm not sure which Monday that'll be, but we will be refreshed and renewed and giving visa advice, or she will be anyway, from the new year, first Monday in the new year. And we look forward to seeing you then. And lots of love and best wishes and festive greetings to everybody at the AEI Migrantes Asoria offices. Have a great Christmas, everybody who's worked so hard there this year and helped so many people move to Portugal. But this is connected in some way. Discussing demographics this morning. What's going on in Portugal? I can hear Marvin Gaye singing in my head. It's because there's been a convergence of demographic type stories about how the society is changing here, and the contribution that expats, immigrants, foreigners are making, and the shifts in society that I thought you would find interesting. So let's go to the first one, and I will weave your Christmas greetings into this as we go this morning. But I thought this may be of interest to you. The first one: 40% more foreigners in Portugal. It's the first one that I'm going to put on the screen. Most of these from the Portugal News. So great reporting, Portugal News. Thank you very much for these. Let me read this. Don't worry, you don't have to squint and try and read this yourself. I just put it on the screen there for you, a little bit of a visual. Look at this. Dating in a class of our own. That's not what I meant to read out to you, but these are the ads that are coming up. That on my wife's birthday as well. Outrageous, Google. 40% more foreigners in Portugal, says the article here. Portugal has lost 2.1% of its population in the last 10 years. However, the number of expats has increased, which now makes up 5% of the entire population. Consider that for a moment. So 1 in 20 people is an expat, an immigrant, a foreigner, whichever way you want to look at it. And I think somebody getting their knickers in a twist about the use of the word expat. It's never far away from us, is it? But for the purposes of this, let's just talk about people coming into Portugal, right? Rather than, as I said, getting our knickers in a twist about what we call them. Just select your word of choice for the purposes of reading through this. According to the latest data from the 2021 census released on the 16th of December by the National Statistics Institute, the INE, okay, Portugal, it says the INE, Portugal had 10,344,802 inhabitants by 2021. Nice picture there of where's that? That's Porto, isn't it? Let me know if you can see that picture. Let me know where you think that is. Over the past 10 years, and very random as well. That's nothing to do with the fact that there are 10,344,802 inhabitants in Portugal, but that's a key figure and one that we can bear in mind. Over the past 10 years, the country has lost 217,376 people, a drop of 2.1% that results from a difference between births and deaths of 250,066 people. The last time there was a population loss between censuses was in 1970 as a result of the high emigration in the 1960s. The number of people aged over 65 has increased, and we'll go to another article about that, about the elderly population increasing here in Portugal. Something to be aware of, for sure, right? The number of people aged over 65 has increased by 20.6% since 2011, with 2,424,122 individuals in this age group, representing 23.4% of the Portuguese. So 23.4% of the Portuguese are over 65. Currently, on Oleiros, Castelo Branco, Alcotim, Faro, and Almeida in Guarda are the Portuguese municipalities with the oldest populations, while Ribeira Grande and Lagoa in the Azores and Santa Cruz in Madeira are the youngest ones. That's interesting, isn't it, in the autonomous regions? What's going on? Is it something in the water? On the other hand, the country increased the number of expats who now represent 5.4% of the total population in the country. That's you, that is, a lot of you here, increasing by 40% compared to 2011. So that's interesting in itself, isn't it? We're now 5.4% of the total population in the country and have increased 40% since 2011. Among foreigners residing in Portugal, there are 452,000 of them, just over, and that's 81.4% of the total are from countries outside the European Union. That's interesting as well, isn't it? The 452,000, just over, 81.4% of the total are from countries outside the European Union, and the majority of municipalities with the highest presence of foreign populations are located in the south of the country, namely in the Algarve region and in Lisbon. Since 2011, the municipalities located in the interior of the country have lost population And the municipalities that have registered a population growth are located above all on the coast. So moving to the littoral, to the seaboard, to the coast, and to the big cities, of course, Porto and Lisbon obviously being on the coast. According to Census 21, Portugal is now more qualified than a decade ago, and currently 38.7% of the population has at least completed high school. In the report, INE highlights that in general, the level of education of the population has increased. Looking at households in Portugal, a third have two people, the households, while a quarter is people living alone, when we'll go deeper into that if we have time as well. And there were over 4,149,668 private households and 5,476 institutional households. What are they, I wonder? They're like old folks' homes. In addition, the number of buildings for housing is 3 million. Well, that's also of great interest to me. In addition, the number of buildings for housing. So housing is at 3,573,416, the number of buildings for housing, representing a 0.8% increase. And this is still a great mystery, isn't it, to a lot of us foreigners coming here, seeing so much empty housing stock, not being able to rent anywhere often. You know, what's going on? I think Portuguese families tend to own, the wider family own a number of properties, don't they, in their sort of collective portfolio. Does that sound, I mean, people in real estate, does that sound like a lot of properties per head? I don't know how that number compares. Some of you might, but you've got 3.5 million houses or buildings for housing in a, 10.3 million number of inhabitants in the country. Is that a useful and good ratio for people who know about these things, I wonder? But some interesting stuff in there. And James from the Algarve, who's often outspoken over on the Portugal News, says, these foreigners need to form a political party, excuse me, to gain a proper voice and take on the current crop of incompetent politicians. Yeah, as I say, often quite vociferous there on the Portugal News comments, which I find fascinating as well, often as fascinating as the article itself. And yeah, the usual thing, Bulek Nunes from the Alentejo says, can you drop the expats nonsense? Your publication quite wrongly uses this expression continuously. They're not expats, they are migrants. If they move to Portugal from other countries, they're immigrants. I am one. I know I'm an immigrant having migrated here. You're using colonial language and it's lazy, self-serving and just false. This is the knickers in the twist thing. 2021-22, about time the Portugal News woke up. Not happy about it. A particular soapbox being stood upon there, I think. Okay, so I'm not going to read. I'm tempted, because there's a defense of the use of the word expat there. But I'm tempted to read more. But we've got a lot of other articles to get through. But I'm interested in your Christmas greetings, of course, and what you're saying in the chat in response to this. So we'll come back to that. Tempted as I am to go there with that. Met a wonderful person yesterday, says James, for some coaching, who found me from watching the Good Morning Portugal show that featured me. I love the far-reaching impact of the show. Me too, James. That sounds great. And if you think it's insulting to be called a Ferengi, you have not studied the rules of acquisition. Obviously. What? Thunderduck, it was great meeting you, and Mrs. Thunderduck too. We both love meeting you too. We had a lovely time. There. Bon dia e Feliz Natal to one and all. Ho, ho, ho. That's the first ho, ho, ho. Thank you very much, Andy, in the Bairrada region, a.k.a. the Porky Feet this morning. Hello, mate. Muitos parabéns, querida. Se repitam por muitos e muitos anos. That's lovely, Joao. Thank you very much. That for Mrs. M there. Andrew! Brought the weather with you, I see. Yeah, bringing this back from the UK. What are you like? You missed a great day paintballing. I look like I'd been at... no, I'm not reading that out. No one makes money off fresh air. Not yet, anyway. Oh, that's true, and that's why we're not hearing about it. Is that what you're suggesting there, Thunder? Yeah, all the things that you can sort of quite easily do for yourself in terms of health prevention. They're not of great interest, are they, to the corporate machinery? Grey, wet, and miserable in Alvazra, Joe. That's just the weather, though, isn't it? And I'm sure you are. You're a sunbeam yourself over there. In Alvazra. Raining hard the last few days in Northern Oregon, the OLP says here. A lot of fog yesterday. Get ready, Rudolph. Santa is going to need your superpowers. Shine on! Hold on a minute. I'm just going to read this to myself before I read it out. They'd have built something like... okay, interesting comment there about the Macau Vegas thing being built on the moon. Maybe that's to come, Ubi. Thunderduck, wait till the Mars colonies are alive, then they will charge for fresh air. Pretty sure of it. Oh, stop it, you cynics. Donna Jacqueline, I think maybe that is both often pee a lot and cry much. Is that talking about hairless cats again? All right. Gary Austin, happy birthday, Luis. I hope you have a day as beautiful as you are from all the A team. How about that? That could be A for Austin or for Al Viagra, couldn't it? They're probably both. But thanks for that, Galvo. Bonus Jazz Drunk Faculty. Sorry, what did I just say there? I'll do that again. Bonus jazz funk track of the day. I'll slow down a bit, shall I? Breathe, Carl. From Galaxy, Fantasy Reel, dedicated to all the Gumpers who have made their way to Portugal, are making their way there, making your fantasy real. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're all about. Expats Portugal, helping people have their dreams come true. Happy birthday, Mrs. M from Viv. Lovely to see your face there, Viv, and hoping to see it in real life soon too. And Pete, I think the Portuguese talk like Klingons and are as fiercely loyal as them, but have strangely Ferengi-like traditions and are at heart they are as cute as tribbles. Okay, so there is some Trekkie talk going on right there. Is it, or is it Star Wars? Or have I offended somebody by even saying that? Parabéns, Louisa. Have a marvellous day there from Pete to you, Mrs. M. Retired designer. Says Mick Jenkins, waiting to sell up on my way next year. Many people think it's a restaurant lot. Yeah, sorry, Mick. I thought that's what it was. But let us know how we can help, mate. No, I've not sent you something. You have now, though, Matty. Is it all right to show that picture of your incredible vehicle? It's just that the soundbite of a new message on WhatsApp seems to be coming. Yeah, I turn the notifications off from time to time. Then I reload it because it breaks down. It is a brilliant bit of software in some ways, but it's also a bit clunky. And then when I reload it, the notifications, you can hear them coming in thick and fast this morning. And OLP enjoying the idea of cocktails, I think. That was really great, Ben. We look forward to more. Bon dia from Lonnie Up. Lonnie Up, you had a great weekend. Bob was up early splitting cordwood to keep his woman warm when she emerged from the bedroom to feed him. Do you know what? That sounds like the beginning of a really good novel, doesn't it? Imagine this, an audio book, and it begins like this. You want to hear more, don't you? That's the art of good storytelling. But that book could start like this. Bob was up early, splitting cordwood to keep his woman warm when she emerged from the bedroom to feed him. Now, I would want to know what happens next, wouldn't you? So many Sages because we love to travel. Do you think that is the predominant sun sign of expats, immigrants, tourists, Sagis? Here are some traits, or trays, some people would pronounce that, don't they? No indoor voice. Obsessed with self-improvement, wields their truth like a blunt weapon. Oh, yes. Friendliest person at the party. All true. There you go, Rebel Bummer. I think Mrs. M will approve largely with that, or agree largely with that. Solar Life Portugal. Ferengi is supposed to be the Arabic word for Franks and was used generically for all Euro Christians. There you go. Learning loads. And yes, those morning whistles. You know what time it is. You know what time it is with that. And we found out, didn't we? The whistling is a bit Marmite for some people. And we now know that some people turn that little bit down. Some of us absolutely love it. And with its ability to put a bit of a spring in our step. Lots of love coming in for the cocktail there. Yes, so Uncle Garvo, please pass that on to Ben. The request there for further cocktails. He makes a great pina colada and a Long Island iced tea, apparently. Ooh, Green Widow sounds interesting. Yeah, what's that about? And Long Island iced tea seems to be the favorite for the moment there, Garvo, if you want to pass that on to Ben. Never forget the fuzzy navel. Okay. Is that more life advice? Follow James Holly on Instagram for more life hacks and tips like that. Never forget the fuzzy navel. Are we talking about hairless cats again, though? Are they hairless apart from I'm not going to continue with that. Hopefully that will become clearer in due course. That's a sort of brew to get you up in the morning that Ben made there. I think that's what Pete's talking about. And from Viv, Boas Festas, first Christmas in Portugal. Yay! with a lovely stream of emoticons, emojis there. Oh, I've been reminded that I've got a lovely video of turkeys flying up into trees, escaping the people who want to eat them, presumably. But that's a lovely string of emojis there. That will be on this week sometime. The wonderful video that was sent to me of turkeys roosting of an evening, and they sort of paraglide from an incline up into the tree, and it's beautiful. At the end of the video, it shakes the tree and the snow falls out. So we will do that. And we'll bring that to you later on this week. Drink name, the Las Vegas Bomb. Okay, so another suggestion there, I think. Sorry about spelling of the name, Louisa. I know so many, including new daughter-in-law, all sound similar there. The Louisas and the Louisas. Feliz Aniversario, Mrs. M from Victoria as well. Yeah, exactly. What is a fuzzy navel? Miss cleaning it in. Oh, come on, stop it. Even though I don't drink cocktails, but only a little wine, sorry, it has been interesting. Same here, Laura. I mean, I think I can count the number of cocktails I've drunk in my life on my two hands here. But I mean, I remember a lot of them, because many a good evening starts with a cocktail, doesn't it? But it is a fascinating thing. It is a fascinating thing. No wonder films are made and books are written, and there is so much interest in that, because there's just something about the mixing of drinks and the spectacle, and not to mention the effect. 21% increase in over 65 as well. Okay, so we're getting into the demographics now. I have a genuine question. What do I take with me to get an SNS number? ID, Andrew. They need to know who you are for your health number, don't they? So don't forget. I mean, you know the drill. Come on, by now, you know you need to take everything with you. Your concertina file with every little bit that they might ask for. So take everything, but certainly some ID to show who you are and on what basis you are here in Portugal. Hola, bon dia, Carl from Jersey B. Toros from cold Long Island. From where that cocktail comes from, of course. Hi, Andy. Fuzzy navel was my mother's favourite. Oh, whoops. Okay, so it's nothing to do with James's morning routine. It is indeed a cocktail. Okay, involving peach schnapps. That sounds like one of those cocktails that might repeat on you in more ways than one, with peach schnapps. That to me just sounds like, when they say it's going to get messy. Peach schnapps is the embodiment of getting messy, is it not? And drinks of that kind, that the sort of drinks where you think, I'm never going to have that again, with the memories I now have associated with it. That explains the queues at the ATMs and the bacalhau counters. What does Pete? People nursing hairless cats beneath their overcoats. I recommend the tequila sunrise, says Thunder, and orange juice. Okay, we're very confused here, aren't we? ATMs, bacalhau counters, and orange juice. Random comments coming in from every direction. New side panels for my van are cutting into my move to Portugal savings. I was wrong. They do use salt on the road. Oh, well, onward and upward. Okay, yes. Keep on keeping on, Suze. We're here to cheerlead you all the way. It's making me thirsty. Is that wrong? No, it's same here. And same with a lot of people here, I suspect. This morning, Andy. Are you in Portimao, Ubi? Do you know about the Tuesday evening expat meetup at the Moonlight? Join us at 4:30 tomorrow. What a lovely invitation. Thanks, Victoria. Carl, there is a big moist bird waiting for you. And birthday, Mrs. M. We're trying to make turkey the new dried salted cod. Good luck. I would try that. I would try salted turkey. And I think it would be of interest to the South Africans as well, wasn't it? A sort of biltong boerewors, turkey version of that. A preserved turkey strip, a preserved salty turkey Twizzler, maybe. I keep hearing, says Suze. Hold on a minute. Have I just deleted your comment? Oh, please. I pressed. Oh, my goodness. I've pressed in the wrong places, as the bishop said to the actress. And I've lost your comment, your last one there. I think I've pressed remove comment. And I hope I haven't banned you by mistake, Suze. If I did, that was the last thing I wanted to do. Hiya, Pete. How was the paintball? Pete, I love turkey. Should be introduced as a staple for the 25th. Are you talking about here in Portugal? Population increased after 2009. Government's law to accept golden visas and retired foreigner income. Retired foreigners from Europe. So you think it's partly that the population increased, the golden visas and the favourable visa terms? Yep, it could well be, couldn't it? What about renaming Repats Portugal, as we have been repatriating? Repats. Repats. It's kind of cute. I'm really worried now that I've banned Suze by mistake. Please send me a comment, Suze, just so I can make sure I didn't do that. And then I'll have to look into, if I have, I'll have to look into unbanning you somehow. I've never had that problem before with anybody. Did Matty buy the new car? Not only, but also, Andy, I'm just waiting for his permission. Irish Tom said they have a backlog of approximately 500,000 applicants wanting to move to the Republic and away from those ruling merry old England. I think the applications for Irish passports will have seen a real surge because it's a great passport to have, isn't it now? Because you've got the freedom of movement to and from the UK as well as to Europe. And I think a lot of Americans are looking for that route as well, aren't they? To get, if they've got some Irish ancestry, getting an Irish passport. There's big business in that, isn't there? In the Irish citizenship, I would have thought. Does Gilda know about that? Could be a little bit of a diversification there. Does Matty have a Tesla? Is that a joke? I think it might be, mightn't it? He might have mentioned it, mightn't he? He saw her and immediately took her back to the bedroom. This story is good. We are writing a novel here, or is it just like one of those short, racy Mills and Boon type things? Viv, you rascal, in the comments this morning. I like the label friend and neighbor versus expat, migrant, immigrant, etc. We have all come from somewhere to be where we are. Humans are so they are, aren't they? So that not only do we need to label each other, it seems, but then we get really hung up on discussing the labels. I think it misses the point, doesn't it? Carl, what is your sign? Mine Gemini and Lewis is Pisces. Says OLP there. I'm a Cancerian. Very, very, not that you'd know necessarily, but very, very sensitive. Steady on. Oh, yes. Woof, woof. He saw her and immediately took her back to the bedroom. And what next? Please, Viv, what happens next? Vodka, peach, schnapps, and orange juice is a fuzzy navel. Thanks, OLP, for that. Vivian is feeling the Portugal effect. Yeah, too right, I think there. And here I was. Yeah, and then I think the next line of that novel is, whereupon she took off the 27 layers of clothing that she was wearing to avoid the cold and damp of the climate to which she was becoming accustomed here in Portugal. And here I was thinking that hairless cats were just a Saturday night thing. No, sorry, Raphael. You're never far away from a hairless cat, my friend. Wow, we looked at immigrating to Ireland, but they had changed the requirements and wanted to show 50k each income per year. I mean, the conditions for Portuguese citizenship visas are quite incredible, aren't they? And I'm sure are contributing. Oh no, Suze, I just blocked you for 5 minutes. I didn't mean to. Please don't take that personally, please. I just clicked on the wrong button. That's what can happen. I had a fuzzy neighbor once, shot of vodka and a handful of antibiotics. That's a special kind of cocktail, isn't it? The vodka and antibiotic mix there. But it does work for many things, so I understand. I drank the cocktail that was made there. Yum. Gary seems to find himself tasting and testing lots of produce, doesn't he? Smart move, Garvo. We see what you're up to, though. I have residency as my missus is Portuguese. I'm from the UK, says Andrew. Carl, buttons are not... I know that. Sorry, Suze. Come back soon, won't you? Well, it'll have to be 5 minutes, given what I've done to you. Sorry about that. Then he sent her off to make sandwiches. No, I don't think so. But maybe. Oh yeah, I could murder a sandwich, love. Thanks very much for the invite from Ubi to Victoria. I was planning to head up to Evora after yoga this morning. Living the dream, yoga this morning. Then up to Evora. Got to go. Matty's got to go. And I still don't know if I can show his new purchase or not. Does the lady in the novel end up doing sausage? Well, at some time during her life here in Portugal, she will do sausage, as you so poetically put it there, Carrie. But we've not, Viv hasn't chosen to weave that in just yet. She's keeping us on the edge of our seats. Carl, my wildest offspring is Cancer, June 26th. Love him. Oh, yeah, special people, alongside the Sagittarians, of course. The duck has taste. Yes, especially if you do it with a lot of orange. She took him back to the bedroom to pick his clothes off the floor. This is really very good. Yes, you could show Expats Portugal. For the all right, Matty, let's show Matty's trade. All right, you blocked me. I was asking if many houses Oh, I'm so sorry. And in disrepair, how about infrastructure? Are roads, bridges, etc. well maintained? I'm confused here now, but I think I'm talking to Elra, aren't I? And not, or am I talking to? I'm so forgive me. That's Suze, isn't it, and not Elra? I've got you mixed up. Oh my goodness. Okay, just please clarify this for me. This is what happens to me when I don't put people's names in my WhatsApp, and I'm all of a dither and a bit overwhelmed by the amount of messages coming in. So, Suze, was that you I blocked? It was you I blocked in the comments, wasn't it? But that's you that sent me the most recent picture in WhatsApp too. I'm gonna have to give myself a time out here, aren't I, and regroup and give myself a good talking to. But what I was trying to find is Matty's trailer. Look at this, folks. He decided to haul his vehicle here himself, and this is how he's going to do it. This probably gets a prize, doesn't it, for the most elaborate. Oh, did he mention he's got a Tesla, by the way? So Tesla at the front and trailer at the back. See, that to me is a motoring mullet, isn't it? It's kind of yeah, party at the front, business at the front, party at the back. He's hauling his other vehicle, I believe that's what this is for, in the trailer behind, and not leaving it to someone else but doing it himself. And we discovered last week that the Tesla has a tow hitch, has everything. It's like a Swiss Army knife among vehicles, I suppose, isn't it? And getting a bit of a charge up there on the now familiar Tesla charging points that you'll see all over the world, which is a great bit of advertising and branding, isn't it? Okay, let's go back to your comments. And I've only read one of my demographic articles because people are much more interested now in what happens to the man and woman who are to and from the bedroom. Am I back? You are back, Suze. I'm so sorry about that. Susie, you are most definitely back. But it is a little message to everybody else. I do have a button I've discovered this morning that can ban you for 5 minutes. Okay, if anybody needs to hear that this morning, welcome back. I am so sorry, Susie. I really am. Okay, before I go to my next demographic article, yes, okay, that is Suze. I will make sure I change the record inside my WhatsApp, Suze. Do forgive me. And of course, you sent the lovely picture. A thunder duck. Did you see the wonderful duck that Suze was sharing with us last week? I'll download that again just in case Thunder Duck didn't see it, because he'll love this. He'll absolutely love this. How specialist is this as a broadcast and a live stream? That you can send each other pictures individually across the live stream, and we'll show your photo of the moonlight in the morning, sunrise at 9:51 and sunset at 2:42. Suze, we'll do that in just a moment there. Joao F this morning in the Mafra region, looking absolutely tropical in Mafra, so we need to show that as well, I think, in a little while. Matty's gone now, but we have shown his trailer, so we're up to date on that. So let's do a little bit. Don't press the red button. I'll do my best not to. I don't know what's going to happen this morning. And Suze, yes, so we're all good now. Suze is back, everybody. AKA the ban hammer, coming down 5 minutes on the naughty step. Okay, right, let's go to the next article, because we mentioned briefly, didn't we, en passant in that last article about the population being on the coast. So next demographic to share with you. And of course, what was Suze's question? Let me put that into the comments from Suze. I was asking if many houses are damp and in disrepair, and how about the infrastructure? So let me cut and paste that into the comments, and I'll mark it upwards from you and see what we get from our pals here this morning, Suze, on this matter. I have my own views on this, which won't come as a surprise, but just popping that in the comments so that that can be answered by the hive mind here this morning. Many houses, are they damp and in disrepair? How about infrastructure? What do we discover? 3.5 million of them, houses, buildings made for homes here. Are roads, bridges, etc. well maintained? Some are not. If you're on a toll road, yes, very well maintained. If you're on one of the old roads, they're not. They can be they can be a real bone shaker sometimes. Okay, so next demographic article then about the Portuguese moving to the coast, which would of course include Lisbon and Porto, and no, quarter of Portuguese homes single occupancy. No, we'll come back to that. Portuguese moving from country to coast here. Let's bring that onto the screen for you now, so you can read along with me if you so choose. Otherwise, I'll read it out to you if you're having a lazy morning. You don't have to do anything. You just can sit there sipping on a cocktail and hear me reading to you. We'll come back to the racy novel in a little while, everybody. Portuguese moving from country to coast again from the Portugal News with, I think, the information coming from TPN Lusa. And this was published a day ago in the Portugal News. About half of the population is residing in Portugal is concentrated in just 31 municipalities. Remind me, how many municipalities in total? Can someone find that out for us? Mostly located in the metropolitan areas of Lisbon and Porto. The imbalances in the distribution of the population across the territory have become more accentuated. It says here, this is what the INE, who we found out about before, we found out about them before in the last article, the National Institute of Statistics, noting that the demographic evolution of the last decade at the level of the municipality allows us to verify that the territories located in the interior of the country have lost population, and that the municipalities that register a population growth are located predominantly on the coast. This is quite a normal thing, isn't it, for human beings, I think, to, well, in a country of this kind where the action is on the coast, of course, and arguably in many ways a particular kind of action has always been on the coast of Portugal with its Atlantic front. But what we're seeing here is that we're losing the action in the interior. And I think that's a serious matter. I think there's something really important about the Portuguese interior. And I'm very keen to be part of any moves to preserve and repopulate the interior of Portugal, which is so special, which holds the Portuguese soul in so many ways. Furthermore, according to the data, there's a concentration around Lisbon and in the Algarve region. At the municipal level, the most significant population increases in the last decade were registered in Odimira, up 13.5%. And Mafra, we'll have a picture from Mafra in just a moment, at 12, nearly 13%, followed by Palmela, wow, Alcochete, Vila de Bispo, and Montijo, with values between 9.6% and 8.7%. At the opposite extreme, Barrancos, Tabuaço, Torre de Moncorvo and Nisa observed the most expressive population decreases with values above 20%, so losing a fifth of their population, according to the data. The 10 most populous municipalities in Lisbon, Sintra. Oh, sorry, no, let me just do that again. The 10 most populous municipalities are Lisbon, Sintra, Vila Nova de Gaia, Porto, Cascais, Loures, Braga, Almada, Matosinhos, and Oeiras. But the two largest cities registered population losses. That's interesting. So maybe that's people living outside those cities, and people in the population putting themselves in a different municipality, but still near the large city, perhaps. So Porto, less than 2.4%, and Lisbon with less than 1.2%. Matosinhos and Oeiras follow the trend of population reduction. Interesting. In so many ways, struggling to make sense of a lot of this, but I think it's fascinating, and we will return to it from time to time. The municipality of Braga recorded the most expressive growth. Interesting again, 6.5%, followed by Cascais and Sintra with 3.7 and 2.1 respectively. I wonder if James in the Algarve has said anything about this. Should we find out? No surprise if the Algarve is still quite basic and backwards, says Kay from the Algarve, despite the high number of foreigners and the few businesses which offer business to them. The rest of Portugal is stuck in a primitive state. Kay, you're one of these quite unpopular expat immigrants, aren't you? Possibly. So the rest of Portugal is stuck in a primitive state, 80 years behind the rest of Europe. This is quite unkind, I think. Portugal only has itself to blame for maintaining its cult of poverty, unhealthy living, and desolate lack of quality of life. Wow. Kay sounds a little bit bitter there, I think. People have been moving to the cities for decades in all countries. Yes, as I thought, the infrastructure resides there and the governments want it that way. A slight conspiratorial twist at the end there. And Jude Irwin from Beirut here commenting only yesterday. I live in land in the rural central region characterized by a small aging population, underinvestment for decades, poor health services, and tons of ruinous buildings and empty land. it is also exploited by monoculture plantations, some owned by foreign countries. This is a picture I do recognise, but it doesn't have to be like this, does it? It is also exploited by monoculture plantations, some owned by foreign countries who don't mind what erosion, forest fires and soil destruction does to Portugal. The region badly needs land and property reform with a comprehensive re-education of builders and architects to build eco-housing, renovate existing ruins and offer incentives, including subsidies and investment to bring young people back. Many like country life for its health and close community benefits, but there is no joined up thinking in Portugal's government about rural areas. Well, I do have a regionalisation article that we might squeeze in as well, which could help with this, but I agree. I would agree with Judo in the most part here. And maybe, why? How is it, wherever you're from and whatever your feelings about Portuguese politics and government, why, when we're so critical of governments, do we still keep asking them to do things for us? When in fact, it's very possible, if we look at the contribution that is made by immigrants in Portugal, that there could be more of a sense of collaboration and cooperation partnership with government, rather than moaning about what the government's not doing. I think it's really important now for the incomers to actually step up. If they have this vision, as Jude does there, for the future of Portugal, it's not going to help, is it, just keep moaning about how the government aren't doing anything about it. We need to take it to the government and say, look, we need to organise ourselves. And I'm not alone here, I'm sure, with other people here in this community, that it's absolutely right what Jude's saying about the wonderful potential, the tradition of the interior of Portugal is so worth preserving. The potential of it is so worth developing. But it's not going to happen if we just keep moaning about what the government aren't doing there. If we're serious about that, I think as an incoming, I use the word force hesitantly, but as an incoming group of people, then presumably we should galvanize together and work with the government, local government. I think there are many in local government in the interior of Portugal who will be delighted to work with incomers who want to invest, who want to live that kind of lifestyle that Jude was referring to in that comment on that article. Let me know what you think about that. I know comments are coming in. Kay needs to get out more in reference to yeah, true. I agree with you there. Keep looking for a sacred hand to carve into your stone, a ghost of comfort, angel's breath, to keep that life inside your chest. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful, Ubi. That yoga's working, mate. Keep doing it. Oh shucks, seems it's worth it being banned for a moment. If anyone else wants to feel banned for a moment and feel the great liberation that comes with it, that Suze has enjoyed and experienced this morning, the elation of being banned for a moment and then coming back into the bosom of the community, let me know and I can do that for you. Suze, the banned years. I think that's a little bit overblown. So, yeah, and your comment there still stands, even though you were banned, and we managed to get that to the community. Carl cancels Gumper. Fake news. Well, it's true. I mean, there's an element of truth in it, but I can explain there was a mistake. Depends also on the location. Is that the kind of, is that your commentary on the quality of infrastructure and housing there, Raphael, possibly? Our little stone house, says Viv, was very damp when we got there, but it's getting better with the fire and dehumidifier. Yes, I mean, houses need love and life in them, don't they? For sure. I'm still wondering if this is maybe a hairless cat comment as well that Raphael's putting in there. The toll roads are excellent, wide, smooth and clean with plenty of roadside services. They are a joy for sure. And you pay for the privilege, don't you? As they made love... Oh, God. Whoa. I'll try that again. As they made love tenderly in the morning sun, she began to moan. The dishes wanted washing and that dripping tap was annoying. You guys, I mean, this is incredible. Can someone pick out the comments here and weave them together into an ebook just in time for... It's a stocking filler in every sense, is it not? The country roads out here are all pretty good because there is no real traffic and they're repaired quickly. Matty will love it in the Tesla, like we do. Tesla drivers of the world, unite. Carl Munson, well-known host of Good Morning Portugal, bans one of the show's friendliest members. Stop it, James, because you know what's going to happen to you if you keep doing that. You're going to feel the taste of my ban button. There are 308. Thank you, Lonnie, for that. Someone being serious and coming to my aid here rather than ganging up on me. Suze, cry freedom, says the prof. Cheers for that, Lonnie. So that is pretty remarkable, isn't it? The concentration of population. Was it in 30, like 10% of the municipalities? I might need a fact check on that. But these demographics are fascinating to me, perhaps not as fascinating to everybody as the erotic novel that is being crafted by the crowd this morning. So happy to watch you again. Question always says, I've been watching for months. Love the Gumpers. Me too. Mostly. Typing fast is obviously not my forte. I mean, that could have come out as something else, couldn't it? Typing fast is obviously quite farty or something like that. Carl Munson talks about his life on them. That would take quite a long time, Thunder. We don't have time this morning for that. Our house is 35 years old and comfy. I think it depends on how you heat, cool, dehumidify, which I discovered. Shutters are brilliant, and so is my wood stove. That could be woven into the erotic novel that we're writing together this morning as well, couldn't it? What goes into a hairless cat? Sounds like a pretty gross cocktail. Morning, Chris. oh, shucks. Seems it was worth it, says Suze. Really, I mean, it's been a roller coaster ride for you emotionally this morning, hasn't it, Suze? And James is available for counselling people if they have been affected by the ban of one of the Gumper community this morning. Ubi's up for that. I think we'll definitely do so. Thanks in the meantime. Buona tarde a todos. You can ban us, but you can't take our freedom. All men die, but few really live. And some spend 5 minutes banned on the Good Morning Portugal show. Okay, I'm stopping now. No, carry on, Prof. Mrs. M thought the hairless cat felt like something very familiar, says Andy. Keeping that alive, keeping that up in the conversation. Keep looking for a sacred hand to carve. I'm going to read this again because I love this. Keep looking for a sacred hand to carve into your stone. A ghost of comfort, angel's breath, to keep that life inside your chest. I think that's going to be in the erotic novel as well, isn't it? So just as you were thinking it was smut, turns out it's an inspirational uplift at the end. And who doesn't like an inspirational uplift at any time of the day? I was going to say in the morning, but any time of the day. I hope it doesn't include a hairball. Well, that hair's got to go somewhere. I mean, if it's not on, if you think about it in a cosmic way, the hairless cat, the hair that should have been on it by the grand creator's design must be somewhere else. You know, and I suppose there are people here who might say, yes, I know where that hair ended up. I have to wax it every month. Kay needs to get out more for sure. Fiona, good morning to you. I'm not sure if I said hello to you. It's a highball or is it a hairball? We're talking about highballs and hairballs, cocktails and hairless cats this morning. Portugal news is not my fave. I see these negative self-entitled comments there often. Those people need to go back home if they hate it so much. Never understood that attitude, really. Yeah, well, they are among us. My, some less than neighbourly remarks from folks that are not from Portugal, says a question always there. Never read the comments. They're new red-inked letters to the editor. Do you think I should not include those? I think we're robust enough, aren't we, to handle one of those every now and then? Again, that could be in the erotic novel. Robust enough to handle one of those every now and then. Before I joined this community, I wrote to Carl telling him how grateful I was about all the love that most expats expressed for Portugal. I still feel the same, despite reading the comments in the Portugal news. Portugal! We'll have to have our own sort of salute as well, won't we? As a sort of hand on heart or rubbing our hearts as we speak fondly of Portugal. That's what I'm going to take from that, Andy. It's the people that make the place, says Andy Gilchrist. I love this show. It's still coming to terms. I'm still coming to terms that it's the faster 90 minutes of the day. Yes, 7 minutes left. It is a testament to how good the show, the community and the content is. Well done, Carl, and to all the Gumpers. Absolutely right. I love the comments. I love and appreciate the comments. Sometimes folks go off track, but sometimes... but overall, a wonderful bunch of Gumpers. Research has consistently shown that people do not consume good and positive news. I take it as personal to carry on with the positive, hoping I can influence through example. You do. Galvanizing, rousing, and thought-provoking, said she as her negligee dropped to the floor. So, wishful thinking there, Mrs. M. See you in a minute. So it makes no difference whether you call yourselves expats or immigrants. What matters is that you come here looking to be happy. And my part is welcoming you as well as possible. Joao, you do that. And yeah, let's not get caught up in the language, right? I know it's important, but it's not as important as some other things. Get yourselves to Central Portugal in response to my demographic discussion this morning. What was that? Robust and can handle one of those occasionally. Sounds like me in the morning. I don't know if I've tied the right two comments together there. Thanks, Joao F. And we appreciate it, Joao. Really do. Yes, Joao F. I believe most, if not all of us, come here on the GMP or came or plan to come to Portugal to join, embrace and contribute to its people and culture. Where? Oh, here we go. We're back to Viv, everybody. Where he fed her toast and honey and a strong cup of coffee. You naughty people, what did you think she was going to do? Although sausage figured into the breakfast as well. Oh, my word. Stop it, Viv. Bon dia todos, Saturday with the Munsons with fun. And now we know that Cole was a pop star. Yeah, Mrs. M. I checked out the video. His band was called The Funky Worm. It's on YouTube. Actually, not bad. Oh, thanks. Damned by faint praise there. Actually, not bad. The fastest 90 minutes of the day. Yes, again, that could be in the erotic novel, isn't it? You know, it was 90 minutes of passion, but it only felt like 2 minutes. James Holly, it is also because of that attitude of yours that I admire you and consider you my friend. Oh, you too! More tangents than anything else. Yeah, more tangents than, mathematicians can finish that for me, can't they? 90 minutes after this novel. I only made it 7. We'll have to carry on this week when we're the collectively written erotic novel by the Gumpers. I tuned in late today, but it was a blast, as always, says Jandis Helena Mitchell. Good morning to you, Jandis. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you all. Marvellous. Annie Jones is here as well, wishing a happy birthday to Annie. Lots of love to you, Annie. I'll pass that on. We're going on a road trip. Pete wants his Bovril, and we should visit some folks. Oh, the spirit of Christmas there. I bet you feel like Santa, don't you? Stuffing those 2 jars in your sack. Thank you, Carl. I'm planning on a move from Utah. We have people in our community who can help from the very same place. Question always, and that's a great name for your YouTube channel there, or your Google identity. And your welcoming, loving, and supportive attitude for us. That's from James to Joao. Absolutely. And he plunged his hard steel into the log. That's when this story started, wasn't it? With splitting timber. But there's an image, right? On the plane yesterday, only 57 passengers took off 45 minutes late and arrived 15 minutes late. Well, you made up a little bit of time there. The London Gatwick Airport was like a specialist video from the 80s. Ghost town. Oh, what's that? What is that referring to, James? Bon dia, just joined you. What are Gumpers? Oh, well, how do we explain? I mean, in some ways, they are people who get banned for 5 minutes accidentally. In other ways, they collectively write erotic novels live online. I mean, anyone else want to chip into that? And what is a Gumper? Here's another clue for you. Good morning to you, Sue Horton, by the way. What are Gumpers? We'll play a little tune for you. We'll go out with another collage of videos and images from the. You'll see how creative the Gumpers are. Sue, Gumpers do it every morning is another clue for you. I'm not sure if that helps or not. And we're going to show you a great big picture of a banana slug. That's another clue. It's not really helping so far, is it? And here's another one. I wondered, Sue, has that helped at all? My little description there might need some help. Good morning, Portugalas. Andy, not really helping and confusing things there. After some time, here we go. I've got to put the voice on again. After some time, he emerged from the cabin, content and happy, only to find he'd left his chopper out and it had attracted the attention of a rogue beaver. No, not really, says Sue. On that. And that's not helping either, Gary, is it really? I vote for Gumpers do it every morning. Indeed. Yeah, that's a special forward, isn't it, in the publication when we get it out there, when it's thrust into the public domain. Now she's surely really confused. So the only thing I can say to you is stay tuned for the rest of the week. You are among friends now, and it's like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. You are now a Gumper, whether you know it or not. and we welcome you. So stay tuned for the rest of the week, and we will. What's that? Yeah, you'll get the gist of it. You'll get the gist of it as the week unfolds. So join us every morning. Please do so. It all will become clear. That sounds painful. What's that thrusting into the public domain? Those images did not help. Poor Sue may sign off forever. I doubt it somehow. Munson's morning massive. At London Heathrow, they ask workers to take an LFT before travelling for their shift. The predictable outcome is that the sickness levels have gone through the roof. Yep, massive chaos today. Many cancellations. Yep, it is chaos, isn't it, Max? Morning, Max. And sorry, I'll stop. No, you don't need to. I don't think there's any stopping anybody this morning, is there? We're all pretty giddy this morning, thanks to Viv. Okay, Will Do sounds like a fun week. Yay, we've got her. She's one of us, everybody. And let me help. Good morning, Portugal. Gumpers, there you go. There's the simple explanation, but we really know it's not as simple as that. Another expression of this, so I'm sure I've left things out. I had to... I was hoping to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 demographically based articles this morning by way of a discussion. And there's no replacing Gilda, is there? But I was in some way hoping to give a little bit of background about Portugal. I was massively distracted. People have been banned. People have been smutty and filthy. Hairless cats have been discussed this morning. And still, Sue is going to stay with us. Don't leave Sue, says Viv. We wear our banning as a badge of honor. I think some more of you want to be banned, don't you? What are you like? Is there some sort of sadomasochistic thing going on as well? We're seeing the dark side. I suppose it was the cocktails maybe that brought it on, but we're seeing the somewhat darker side of the Gumpers this morning. The pennies dropped. Is it an acronym? Well, yes, again, only partly, though. It's a way of life. It's not just an acronym. And a Gumper isn't just for Christmas either. Today's show is the very soul of Gumperdom. And again, I don't know if that's helping or not. Rebel Mumbo to Capricorn 12. I'm serious. They were so fantastic. I'm itching to get back to the UK for some music. My fave DJs are there, and also the old 80s groups. Wistful look and sound. Sorry I tuned in late. And we're sorry for you as well, Rosemary, because by the time you've tuned in late here, this is going to make no sense whatsoever, possibly. But you are going to get a nice video now featuring Warren Sharm's Christmas tune, written specially for us. As we travelled through London Gatwick, 2 Gumpers acknowledged each other. They could tell by the way that they held their boarding passes that they were Gumpers. The special number, 50,000. Yes, I thought that was part of I was just drifting into the erotic novel genre again there. You know, the casual meeting at the airport. From Thunder, only elite Gumpers are dumpered. Yes, it's a treat to look forward to as part of your Gumper trajectory here on the show. Great show. No need for Christmas jumpers. All you need is a Gumper, a Christmas Gumper. Everybody, wear your Christmas Gumper with pride, and we'll go out this morning with one of our wonderful collective videos. I'll make a third one of these this week with the rest of the images that are coming in. Oh, no. Sorry, before I do that, I had a couple of pictures to share with you, didn't I, before we play the vid. Let's go then with a duck. We've got a lovely duck to share with you, especially for Thunder Duck. Let me just show you this in its full glory on the screen. Thank you for that, Mrs. M. The Dark Side of the Gumpers sounds like an album title. It's coming, isn't it? Let's face it. I literally laughed out loud 3 times this morning. Is that a good hit rate over there in Edicera? Let's show these final pictures then. A duck from Sue's. It's a big hug, isn't it, from the duck? No hard feelings, I hope, this morning, Suze, with the banning. And also from you, look at this, quite an incredible picky. The legend for that is, of course, where did you go? 9 a.m. that was taken. A photo of the moonlight in the morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Sunrise at 9:51. Sunset at 2:42 there in Finland. Yay to the days getting longer. That's quite incredible, isn't it? And finally, from Mafra, thank you so much for this as well. That's real super there. From Joao F. It looks tropical in Mafra this morning, and that's a place that's seen a population rise. And is that a vineyard over there beyond your tropical foliage? There's another line from the erotic novel, right? He made his way through her tropical foliage. No, I'm going to stop there. So much I could say, and sometimes it's best to say nothing, right? Great show for a do nothing morning. Yes, perfectly positioned this morning. You put yourself in the right shape for this one. Garvo's well chewed chop. What piqued your interest? This show goes by so fast. It seems I just tuned in a minute ago. Could be listening to it all day long. There is wine in Mafra. We want to visit Mafra, says Thunder, as well. I've laughed out loud today too. And that's despite being banned. And I'm a hard customer for laughing. Too much comedy training in my past. Okay. We need to see more of Suze, don't we, in that comedy training? So we are really going to finish with the finish. We are finishing with the finish. Mrs. M in for a rowdy birthday. It looks like it. Yeah, we're off this afternoon for a super afternoon. It's a surprise for Mrs. M, so I can't say too much now. But thank you all so much. You Gumpers! Love you, you Christmas Gumpers. And we'll see you again tomorrow, where we'll be handling Owen's meat more effectively than we did last Thursday. So looking forward to bringing Owen's meat trip to you, and maybe by tomorrow we will have pieced together the parts of the erotic novel, and we'll be able to, maybe we can work on it for the rest of the week and read it out on Christmas Eve. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? And we could run it up as an ebook and give it out as a Christmas present for all to remember this year. Okay, going out, I'll put a few more comments over the video, but this is one of the Christmas vids, of course, and this is video number 1, and there's video number 2 over on the YouTube channel. All your incredible work of your images and videos, and there will be another one this week. So please keep those light up Christmas of images and videos coming in. 913-590-303, and we'll stitch another one together. Take care. Bye for now. Have a great day. You've been amazing.
There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. The elves are happy to be gone from the cold, snowy north. A reindeer riding waves in their finest beach gear. We're all enjoying Christmas cheer. Oh, the family all together tasting all the treats. But the favorite is always some of my grandma's sweets. The lights are twinkling everywhere.